Open a chart.
It is 7 p.m. and I am recording this Zoom discussion with Tom Rebro, who I met, I think, earlier on this year, who is really has helped me break down what human design is. And I really didn't know very much about human design, and I find I read a lot, but I don't really understand something until somebody breaks it down for me. So my name is Taniya Hussain. I'm known as the Muslim Alchemist online. I run my coaching business, which I have done online coaching business since 2018. I'm a social worker by profession, and I am the create one of the creators of the transformation of consciousness community and also the space for high performing leaders Facebook community. And if you are watching this, you're either one of those communities, or you know me online, or you know me personally, or you may know Tom online, or you may know Tom personally. So I am going to ask Tom to introduce yourself and how you came across human design, and just, yeah, how you find it's useful. And maybe also, Tom, if you could tell us the history of human design.
So my name is Thomas Rebro, and I've been exploring into the coaching avenues and came across human design, and now consider myself to be a human design specialist in my services and what I provide. And I came across it when I was expanding my knowledge and my spiritual practices. Came across human design on a um, guest show on the Gaia Network. Person was talking about it. I was fascinated by it. Then went and looked up my chart, and immediately on looking on it, had this overwhelming sense of like, yes, this is correct. This feels correct. That intuitive feeling. Everything that I looked on it, I was like, holy crap, this is me, and then immediately went to look up everybody I know in my family and looked up all their charts and realized like, holy crap, yes, this all tracks. This all like feels correct. So from there, I was very fascinated with it, and then hit a stage because you hit a point where when you get into the stuff in depth enough, you fight an internal battle of like free will versus predestination when you look at these kind of things, because you look at it and you're like, this is me, and then you have some resistance to it, like, no, this thing can't tell me who I am. I can be whoever I want to be, because human design is very articulate. It's very specific about you and your energy and what you're here to bring. And if you can decondition yourselves and follow it, it is your true self. It's your true self and what your soul wants to be here. And if you don't, if when you're most likely when you've been introduced to it, you haven't been living your most true authentic self, and wherever that is, you're going to feel really uncomfortable changing. And they say it's just like a 7-year process to really decondition and become your authentic self, to where the whole thing feels natural, and then you find a flow in life because you're following what your chart says. I'm in about year 4 of exploring into this, so it's like things are starting to change and take shape, and I'm seeing it and really starting to follow what it has to offer, but not quite fully there yet, right? But I can see the path, and I can feel it transpiring, and ideally then when it's done, when you decondition, they say you've never deconditioned fully, but when you're living your authentic self, you'll find flow, you'll find your abundance, you'll find your soul journey, and you'll be in the present moment, you'll be in the flow of who you are. The history of human design, it was channeled through by an individual. He renamed himself Rupu. So anybody that talks about this guy, people like to talk to him like I worked with him in the original when it started. So anybody that says that is like in the original human design fan club, like they worked with the guy that invented the thing. So he channeled it through from source, this idea, and it's a combination of a number of things. The Kabbalah, numerology, astrology, and it brings it into a body graph where you can see your personal design and aura basically put on a chart. along with input from all of these modalities that gives you exactly your soul path. On the sides of the chart, it shows the planets, and on the inside, it shows your energy center. So if you're familiar with chakras, like it shows you your chakras and where you're connected in different ways, which has now been proven by science. It like when this would have started, it would have been kind of a spiritual belief, and now these things have been proven by science. And this chart shows you exactly how you're designed. It shows you where your soul is reaching out for connections to learn its lessons, and where it's open to people, where it's closed. It has a whole makeup of it. There's so much information that you could dive into. Um, so when you open these things, it's really important not to get overwhelmed by it all, because you can take such a deep dive into these things, but you're not necessarily a person that needs to do a deep dive into it. So I am a mental projector. This stuff fascinates me, and I want to and should delve into it all and learn it all so that I can provide the information to other people. But other energy types are not that way. They are not here to know and learn everything. They're here to do. So for those type of people, when you go to a chart, instead of diving into what it all means, you can just be told, you can get some advice on it, but following your base strategy and authority from your chart will ultimately bring you to what you need. You don't need to know it all. You don't need to know everything. So with that being said, I'd like to share the story of how I joined the group, because it's a beautiful scenario of how I followed my strategy and authority, because there was a period of time where I was not. And as a projector myself, my strategy is to wait for the invitation. If I initiate my energy, it does not go well. It never has. And when I was introduced to human design, I learned this fact. Because before that, I was really pushy with my energy and trying to give advice to people, and they didn't want to hear it. Learned human design, or okay, wait for the invitation. Even after learning that, I still went forward. Like, no, I'm not listening to this thing. I don't need to wait for an invitation, right? All right. Well, it started to gain traction. It started to be like, okay, I should wait for the invitation. And here comes this group, Transformation of Consciousness. I saw it. I didn't join it right away, but I saw it. And I saw some posts from Taniya, and the numbers were creeping up to 777. And she was at 776. And she had made some posts saying, like, just waiting for 777, just waiting for that 777 person to join. And I was like, okay. So I took that as a prompt from the universe, like invitation, joined at 777. The funny thing that occurred after that, and I don't know if I've ever told you this story, Tanya. I think this is the first time I'm telling. So I joined at 777, and I didn't get a welcome post. Like, it was like you were waiting for it. Like, I'm waiting for 777, and like you were waiting to like initiate that person in. I joined at 777. I was really proud of myself for doing that. And I was waiting for the welcome post, and it never came. The 777 never came. And I was like, all right. Then somebody left the group, made it 776 again. Somebody else joined and made it 777. And then you made a post welcoming the 777 person. So I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know how to take this. I'll just sit with this. I'll like wait for the invitation, right? I knew energetically I joined at 777, but don't push anything. It's fine. I'm here in this group. I'm here for a reason. And then it wasn't until much later, a few months later, I believe, and Tanya had been talking about tarot cards, and I was talking about tarot cards in the comments, and she invited me to go on a Zoom together and do readings together, and we did a cross reading together. And at that point, the readings we gave each other connected so well that Tanya was inspired to work together further and to do further posts and whatnot in the transformation of consciousness. So everything that has transpired was not initiated by me. It was invited in by Tanya. And even the promotional material she's been giving has been pushed by Tanya. And it's been me accepting the invitation. Tanya invited me to then do some lives and do some posts. So then I did it. So it has been like radically me following my invitation and bringing me to this point here. There are places where if I push what I do, it's not accepted at all and even really harshly rejected. Like, I'll be in a space and I'll say like, hey, I provide human design insider readings, and I'm really shut down for that fact. Like, it's not welcome here. So it's really important for me and my energy type to be invited. And it's really important for Taniya's energy type to respond. So it's a very beautiful interaction of a generator and a projector, because Taniya saw something that connected and she responded to it. And I was in an area and invited, so then I provided my reading. So it's a really awesome example of what will happen if you follow your strategy and authority, and how it isn't a rule. Like, you have free will, you can go against your strategy and authority, but once you know it and you pay attention to it, you will notice that going against it brings resistance, and going with it helps. It'll just naturally bring you to the next step for your soul journey and for ultimate transformation of consciousness, because that's what human design is all about. Everything that is in your chart is there as your soul journey of transformation. All of your gates that are in there, everything about it is here's what you're here to transform in your life. I mean, at that, I'll let you, if you have anything to say, Taniya. I'd like to look up Gary's chart and see
Yeah.
what he's about.
While is it okay whilst you look up his chart that I can kind of just tell my story of how I met you and also how you've helped me? Is that okay, Tom?
Is it okay? Can we let Gary give me his birth information, and
Yeah,
then while
sure.
I look at
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
then you
yeah. That would, yeah. Please, Gary, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Gary. I live in Ohio in the United States.
okay.
My internet connection is bad, so if I cut out, it is not on purpose. I've got my actual birth certificate here, and I was born December 9th, 1976 at 4:36 p.m. in Youngstown, Ohio.
Beautiful. That is all I need. Let me take a peek at this. Taniya, go ahead and tell your story.
Yeah, so I apologize to Tom for not welcoming him into the transformation of consciousness group, but there is something about 7 for me, and basically, if you don't know it yet, you probably will know it by the end of this Zoom discussion. Obviously, I'm Muslim. I call myself the Muslim Alchemist. I have always been a Muslim, apart from I think 3 years of my life where I became agnostic. And I kind of refound my faith via doubt. I had to doubt everything. I had to doubt the existence of God to find my faith. And there is a reason why I'm kind of saying that. I'm going to tell that later. I met my spiritual teacher in 1992, and she is a Sufi. She's from the Chishti Tariqa, the Chishti path. So I'm very much into mysticism. And I actually met her at Interfaith Conference, and most of my friends are rabbis or pastors. So I'm very interested in Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, and Christian mysticism full stop. So it's really interesting for me to hear that the founder of human design was into Kabbalah, and I'd really like to know from Tom what his original name was.
Ooh, I actually do not know what his
Doesn't
name
matter.
was.
I didn't. Yeah, I had a feeling you might not. I had an instinct you might not. But it's interesting that you kind of talk about numerology, which I know very little of. But within Islam, we have 786, which comes from numerology, which actually means in the name of God, the most merciful, the most kind. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So there is some numerology in Islam, although some Muslims would be a bit skeptical about that. In fact, some Muslims are very skeptical about Sufism, but Tasawwuf mysticism, Islamic mysticism, does have an authentic grounding, despite what some Muslims say. The Prophet, peace be upon him, had esoteric knowledge, and the founder of Sufism was the Prophet Muhammad. My story back to the group and transformation of consciousness is I founded the group along with Brian Campbell, Paul Simon Bryan, and Aaron Webber. I can't remember, a few years ago. And no lie, and I'm not going to pretend, it was to promote my offers, as most Facebook groups are. I do have a coaching business, and I felt like rather than do public posts on my professional profile, if I have a group that I can kind of invite people to, this is kind of like my way of promoting my coaching business. And over the years, different people invited different members, and the one of the co-founders is a very good friend of mine called Paul Simon Bryan. And although he is very different from me spiritually, because he is a witch, and he is a shaman, and he is a druid priest, and he's a pagan. He's polytheistic, he's not monotheistic. We are very good friends, and we are like unlikely allies, really, because we come from such spiritually opposing beliefs, yet we are very good friends. So it's a very unlikely friendship, and this is one of the most exciting Facebook groups that I'm part of, not just because I helped co-found it, because it's so interfaith and not about faith. Because there are some agnostics in the group, there are some atheists in the group, and it's really all, like the name says, to do with transformation of consciousness. And so it's a funny group in a way, because you attract different energies and different beliefs, and sometimes it can be quite difficult to maintain, because there's those different energies and tensions. And for me, it has been difficult, but also very enjoyable and also very exciting, because it is maintaining all these different energies. And I think over the time it's grown to about 700. And I have a very strong attachment to the number 7, because spiritually the number 7 is to do with my own Chishti tradition, which is the 7 levels of the self, starting from the earth level or going all the way up to the light level. So 7 is a massive spiritual number for me, because of my Chishti roots. And also, I think everybody knows about there's 7 layers, 7 days of the week. And so 7 has got a massive kind of resonance with me. I do know about different things to do with transformation, because obviously I'm a Muslim, I'm a Sufi, but I have done a lot of, I'm Jungian trained as a therapist, and I'm very much into archetypes and shadow and light. But as I said, I did not know hardly anything to do with human design. I think I kind of came across it my first year or a half as a coach. My very first online coach was into human design, and I think she kind of explained what my chart was, but it just literally went over my head, and I just kind of parked it, and I heard about it, but nobody really broke it down for me. And when Laurie, I think in another Facebook group, I think it was her Facebook group, started talking about tarot. I think you might be in her Facebook group, Gary. She started talking about tarot. I was like, I'm into tarot, and it's only very recently that I've actually publicized that I'm into tarot, because Muslims, like Christians and Jews, can be very narrow-minded, and they're like, you can't believe in tarot. And so I recently got into tarot, and I felt like publicly I could talk about tarot, because I purchased what's called Sufi Tarot cards, which are very much in line with my faith. So it's merging Sufism with tarot. So I felt like for me that was energetically and spiritually aligned. So I did like tarot. Well, I don't know if they were tarot cards. They were goddess cards for myself and family members, but I felt not very confident in doing it for public, for anybody else. But having these Sufi tarot cards, when I started doing it on myself, I felt like I could sell tarot card readings. So having this discussion in Laurie's group, and then I just did some written posts in the transformation of consciousness group, kind of seeing if anybody else kind of like is into tarot. And Tom was one of the few people that replied. And by this time, I think the group was going because I was pulling it along with certain like written posts. I don't do Facebook Lives hardly. I don't like Facebook Lives. Because I'm still a social worker and I've got like my energies in my job. But the group was kind of like, it was quiet, but it was moving along because I was pushing it along. And then all of a sudden, this very asleep group came alive because of this conversation about tarot. And it has been more alive than I think it has been in a long time. And so when I met Tom, he literally broke it down to me what my human chart meant, design chart meant, and who I was, and it kind of blew my mind. And I think I went away to the interfaith conference, and again I kind of battled with it because I don't actually believe in fate, predestination. I believe we do write our own will, our lives. And then I kind of like sat with it, and then Tom has got this other private group, and we've been having like discussions about what it means to be a generator and my chart. And the more I've had like conversations via chat and like met with Tom, the more I'm really, really understanding like who I am. And when he first did my chart, he was telling me things, and I was thinking, how does this guy know this? He's never met me. He doesn't know me. How does he know this? And it's, yeah, I'm going to let Tom say a little bit more. But now I want Tom to kind of share Gary's reading.
Yeah. So I can go over it here. I've looked up your chart, see if we can hold it up and see it. All right. So that's you. And if you can see, you are an incredibly open being. You have your sacral and your root center defined, and that's it. So what that means is in all those other areas where you are open, you take in the conditioning from the people around you. So you're a rooted individual and you're creative, but beyond that everything that pulls you and drives you in the world is from your environment and from the people around you. And depending on who's around you, it will be different. I'm very similar in mine. I got my two top centers defined. You have your lower two. And because you have your sacral center defined, that makes you a generator. Okay, so you're a generator like Taniya is. The both of you are. Your strategy, the most important thing for you to know, is to wait until things come to you with your attention and let you up to respond to. Because if you don't wait, if you're trying to, you have the energy. As a generator, you have the energy. So if you aren't selective, you will just go. You will just go and put your attention towards anything and anything. But if you can wait in order for something to inspire you to respond to, then you're directing your energy and you will then operate way more efficiently. All right. So that is literally at its core the only thing you need to know as a generator to operate correctly. Otherwise, like the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it, will take you where you need to go because you will get the prompts from your life on where to go. So at a base level, that's all you need to know. Your energy type, you have a 1 and a 5, and I can tell you what that means because that's the other really useful thing to know. 1-5s, and I've been coming across a lot of 1-5s lately. I believe in like the synchronicity of that kind of stuff. I don't know why it is, but currently in my life, I'm coming across a ton of 5-1s. I just did a triple reading for a mother and 2 daughters, and all 3 of them were 5-1s. So here we are today, and I'm talking to you, and you're a 5-1. It's not an accident. I don't know. I don't know what it
I'm,
is right now, but 5-1s
I'm
are
a
the truth.
5-1. I'm a
Yep,
5-1.
we got 2 5-1s here. Okay, so what that means, if you're a 1, you want to learn everything. You want to
Yeah.
learn everything, and you are never satisfied. You will never feel like you know enough, but you know enough. So it's like you have this drive to just know everything, but you know way more than you think. And it will never be satisfied. So as soon as you can understand, you'll never be satisfied. You'd go with the confidence. All right, I probably know enough. I probably know enough on this topic, and I can move forward with it. Okay. On the other half, you're 5. That means people you project out as somebody to come to. So, however way you're here to bring in life, people see that in you and come to you for it. So, as a 5, you're somebody people see you and think Gary knows. And for everything you're learning in your 1, they'll see you. Yeah, he knows everything about this, and he's the person to come to. But it doesn't mean that you are yet. Like they see you, you guys project as somebody to come to, but you may not necessarily have the energy in that moment to do it. So when they come to you, it's on you to respond if it's feeling correct for you. Because people will come to you all the time as a 5. They will come to you, and a lot of them could be no's for you. They could be coming to you, and you'd be like, "No, I'm not feeling that. I don't want to put my attention there." And then it's on you to say no, and you can have your boundaries up and only say yes to the things that are feeling correct for you. Because as 5s, you're gonna get a lot of people. People are going to gravitate towards you. It's considered like the leadership number. So that is the other most important thing to know. Other than that, I can kind of tell you. I don't know if you can see it in the chart when you're looking at it, but all those numbers, and you can look. There's lots of sources to look up these charts. My favorite one now is the Neutrino app. That's the one that I'm using right here. It has a lot of info. And I think the numbers are probably reversed on this camera. But if you look on those gates on the side, they give the gate numbers and they'll tell you exactly what they mean. Like you can look them up online and it'll give exactly what it means. And it's in the planets, it's in each planet. The most important ones before you go diving into everything and anything, if you wanted to know more, especially because you're generators, it's not really your soul path to learn the whole thing. But if you wanted to look into it, your sun and your earth are what your sun is what you're here to bring, and your earth is what grounds you. So those top 4, if you wanted to look like who you are, okay, you look up online, okay, the gate 5. If it's the gate 5, look it up. For you, Gary, it's 4, 1, 49, and 2. Those are your sun and earth gates. So you look up online what those mean. I can tell you right now, I can click into it. Your 4 line is to find the enjoyment in lighthearted and carefree activities in appropriate situations. For example, knowing to relax and enjoy life. You're here to bring that. All right. And that's your 1, which means you'll never feel like you're good enough at relaxing and finding the enjoyment in life. You're always going to be trying to find more ways to do it. Your outer expression, sun, is the discipline and commitment to one's craft that can serve as an inspiration to others. For example, a musician's dedication to their art. I think Gary's frozen. I can't see his reaction.
Yeah, he just froze just then. He was okay. He was moving around before. Oh, I can see him now. You
Yeah,
want to
I
say something?
only hear about 80%. So if you ask me a question, I might not have heard it.
Okay.
But yes, it's what I have heard, very interesting, and I'm
I'll
definitely listening.
I'll read you your earth ones and then we'll move forward here because it's easy enough. So your inner, so the left side is your inner and the right side is your personality, your outer. All right. So your design, your inner grounding is recognizing that a principle or idea will only be successful if it's widely accepted, like a company that surveys their customers before launching a new product.
Hmm.
And I'm not a big fan. I'm reading it out of here because it's in front of me. This isn't my favorite source for this, but if I'm sure it resonates anyway. Um, I have other places I like to look these ones up. Your outer earth is the direction of self, the manipulation of power and information to further one's own interest, resulting in a loss of trust and respect from others, like a corrupt politician who prioritizes their own gain over the well-being of their consultants.
Is that the challenge that I have within myself? Is that what that, did I hear that correctly?
Well, that's what grounds you. So that gate would have been kind of like what kind of like keeps you here, what makes you feel comfortable. All right. The top one, the first two I read would be what you're here to bring. And the bottom two that I read are what grounds you, what'll like keep you settled.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how you feel, Tom, about this, but if I mean, you're gonna get this recording, right? So, you know, you're able to kind of listen to it again because there is so much information in Tom's reading of the charts. Does this resonate with you, Gary, what he's saying?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Does it resonate with you what he's saying? Does
What
it?
I heard resonates with me, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Okay, it's good to
Cool.
know.
I can extrapolate on that, but it does.
Awesome. The other thing to look at, I think it's probably the last thing to really go over here without complicating things too much. All the little numbers that are next to those big numbers, they are always going to be 1 through 6. And they are the same as like your main energy type. How I said you guys are a 1-5. It's those applied to whatever energy gate you're looking at in there. So there'll be a big number and then a little number, and the little number is the energy type of that. I can go over those here if you would like. The one is the learner, like I said, always wanting to learn. 2s are natural ability. So anywhere there's a 2 is just natural ability. You don't actually want to learn because you just have the natural ability. And it's also the energy type of the hermit, wanting to be alone. 3 numbers, wherever those show up, that's the trial and error number. Anywhere there's a 3 in your chart is where you're going to constantly try and fail and learn and fail and learn, fail and learn and fail and learn. So when you see people that have prominent 3s, you know, when you look at their type that they're meant to have kind of the, I don't want to say disaster of a life, but they're meant to have so much mess and failure in their life to grow and learn. The 4 number when it's in your profile is the number of community and networking. The people that have those ones are very outward individuals and work through people. Then the 5 is the leadership profile. That's the one that you two have. People come to you, you're approachable. And then the 6th line is the roof line number. It is the completion number, transformation of consciousness number, whatever you want to call it. 6, essentially, anywhere there's a 6 in your profile, and this is what inspires me for my reading because I'm a 6. I'm a 2-6 profile. The 6 are people that operated like a 3 at the start of their life, screwed it up so much, to say it bluntly, made enough mistakes that then they hit a stage where they scaled back and took a more broad view towards life. They kind of scale back and take the bigger picture and go through like a learning cocooning stage to really learn the lessons before then coming back later in life and bringing it together again and then like interacting with the world more again. So when you have mainly in the profile as a 6, it's like the main energy for your sun and your earth. That's what it means. But anywhere it's in your chart, that will be where that takes place in your life. That will be the aspect that it happens. When I was looking at yours, Gary, you only have 1. So you're good. You have 1 in your moon, which means that on like a subtle level for what drives you, you may have been scaled back in that period of your life, but you're also past it. So I don't know if you can think over your life from the age 30 to 50 in kind of like your inner drive, there may have been a spot where you kind of scaled back through that time, but it would have been kind of subtle because it's not very prominent in your chart.
Can you describe an example of how it would manifest from that age? I am 47. And
Oh,
you can repeat some of the things you said because I might have missed some of the key words. So can you just say
I don't
what?
know why I did my math wrong there, but 47 is perfect because that means that you are not yet at your Chiron return, which is 50. So
Wow.
the life stage path is 30 is the Saturn return and going to the roof. 42 is the Uranus return, which is the switch from your south node to your north node. And then 50 is your Chiron return. So if you're 47, it means around 5 years ago, there would have been some sort of a turning point. But like I said, for you, it's what drives you and it's only in one gate. So it may have been kind of subtle. It's just in like your inner drive. Your motivation, something may have flipped at like 5 years ago. Does anything come up for you there?
Yeah, I mean, well, within the last few years, yes, dramatic change. I would say the most would understand it is that I was a very um I've been an alcoholic my whole life, but for the last 2.5 years, I've been sober. And my depression just like ceased almost miraculously right when I couldn't physically drink anymore. It wasn't so much that I stopped drinking as much as it's just happened, and then I stopped drinking too. Which came first? Difficult to say.
Cool. In 3 years' time, you're getting your Chiron return, and the themes that have kind of switched from the last couple years in your life will come to be in your inner south node and north node. So kind of in your inner design and motive. Remember how I was talking about it's like you're constantly trying and learning. So when it comes to your life lessons, like no, you're constantly going to be trying and learning, and that's correct for you. It's okay. Like if you fail, you just pick yourself up and try again and reset. You don't have it all, like all over in your chart, but in your south and north node, so where your life is generally switching and taking you, it's okay to have failed and try again. And like, okay, that didn't work, try again. That's in your chart.
I think, Tom, did you want to like say a little bit about like when you've provided the readings for me? Did you want to say a little bit more? So 'cause I think I feel instinctively Gary needs some time to just process what you've shared with him. This is quite, it's quite there's just like so much. I remember I felt really like overwhelmed. It was blowing my mind and my heart and my soul. Do you want to get let's give Gary some time, and this is the bit that you always feel surprised by. I'm just so glad that actually only Gary has turned up to this, because I feel like, just having one soul come to these meetings, the quality just kind of hits the roof. And that's where the genius of you, Tom, shines. Whereas I think if we'd had even another person, it just, I wouldn't, it's literally, although this is Gary's reading that I'm witnessing, it's blowing my mind, the power of human design. Seriously.
The irony of that, well, I shouldn't say the irony, the serendipity of that is that it may happen like that.
You're breaking up, Tom, or you're frozen.
Literally, quite literally, a projector energy is focused on the one.
Oh, wow.
My group is inspired about that I started. It creates what's called the penta, and that's when designs come together. They literally like combine and morph a new thing. And once that
Wow.
happens, my energy is like it's like it's not needed or welcome. Like the people that are there, they're all moved interjecting and sharing their thoughts and stuff. And if I say something, they'll be like, "What do you? We don't need to listen to you." You know, and that happens a lot in groups. But as soon as my energy is with one or two individuals and I can focus on one at a time,
Yeah.
a completely different story. Completely different story. So it may just naturally play that way. The universe may just know
I
what it's
would
doing
say
and only
this.
bring.
You hear me okay?
Yeah. Yeah, we can.
Mhm.
I sense my connection is so bad. I'm really excited about reviewing everything that I missed. And it maybe if it's okay with you, I'll step out. I will disconnect. But if you can just proceed with everything that you want to talk about and provide information on how I can look more into this and to stay in contact with you, that would be wonderful. I really appreciate it, and I wish my connection was better.
Can
And so
you
I want to thank you.
can you leave your, because I feel like we need to kind of collaborate, just you and me, Gary, as well. If you don't mind, could you just leave your email in the chat? And so I can post this recording right to you. And if Tom gives me his permission, I can give Tom's email to you as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Um
trying to set to post in the chat.
if you want, if you can note this, I'll give you my email if that might be a bit more quicker. So then you can just, where is it? You can have my email and then you just email me back if you can note that down. Can you see it, Gary?
I do see it now. I will send you an email
Sure.
right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
and you can confirm if you've got it, and I won't.
Yeah. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, Gary. Very, very good to meet you.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
that connection is popping out.
You two, both of you, and feel free, by the way, Tanya, to share my. Really, I have nothing to hide, so I look
Yeah.
forward to staying in touch.
Yes, I look forward to it too. I feel like it's going to be very beautiful collaboration, whatever happens.
Awesome. All right, I'm sending you an email right now, and I'm going to disconnect, and I hope you both have a wonderful day.
You too.
Here,
Thank
Gary.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I feel like, Tom, today we're talking more about human design than
Ooh,
tarot.
we should have pulled the cards before you left, but we can
Yeah,
pull them.
you can always do that. You can actually do that now if you want, and then I could share it with him.
Yeah, that works.
No,
So
that kind of works.
it seems like a natural progression now because I had pulled one for all three of you for here on the call. So let's pull the first.
I think Gary's still here actually. I can see, although his camera is off, I think he's still here. So let's pull Gary's.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in the group, but his camera's off. Okay, let's see. All right, so we can pull Gary's first. This is the one I had pulled for Gary. I pulled one for the three of us. So let's see how this goes. I would have loved to have heard more from him about tarot, because he seemed like he was the tarot expert.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go here. This is what we pulled for him, which
What's that?
is the Page of Wands.
Okay.
I'd say before I read what it is, I guess I didn't really elaborate yet. I've beautifully merged the tarot synchronicity with the readings. And as I was talking about the sixth life path in charts, I've combined that with pulling tarot cards. And my knowledge of tarot itself is somewhat minimal, but the way I use it is with the synchronicity that comes up with the cards. And I take the meaning when I look at them first. I like to ask people what it means to them first when they look at it, and then I read the actual meaning, and both of them seem to pull intuitively things out of the readings and match beautifully. So this is So you read what we pulled for Gary. Is explosive creativity and infectious enthusiasm, ideas aplenty, creative beginnings, a newfound inspiration, honing a new skill or passion, curiosity and trying new things, gifting yourself permission to dream, great energy for creative ideation and brainstorming, a youthful spark. As the dreamer of my dream, I spontaneously and passionately ignite this flame.
Wow.
That's what we pulled for Gary.
Wow. Exciting stuff for him.
All right, so let's see what I pulled for you. And this is the Light Seers deck, by the way. It's a really good, it's a very, very popular one.
I'm going to get it. I need to go and get it, actually. I'd like to get it.
Whenever I carry that one around, people see like, "Ooh, you got the Light Seers deck. That's a good one." It's because it's tarot, but it's reframed in a more positive light.
Yeah.
So it's all like light work instead of like traditional tarot, but it's the same cards as tarot. So it's a cool spin on it. Okay, so here's what I pulled for you. And that is the Queen of Wands. We've pulled 2 wands already today.
Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. Okay.
Queen of Wands. We have creativity, passion, determination, confidence, joy, bold expression, helping others as you build your queendom power. I fill my world with an intense light that connects and incites passions. That is a card of helping others, which is definitely
me.
What you're doing. Yep. That's very fitting.
Definitely me. And I really felt it with this particular Zoom discussion. Like Gary was, because I've actually wanted to converse with him, because when he's kind of responded to some of the conversations, he seems to be a classic 5-1. He actually knows a lot, and yet he's like me. He wants to learn a lot too. So it's really very.
I always love opening a chart with people. His eyes like completely lit up when I started talking, and that's my favorite part. When people have never heard of it before, and I get to open their chart for them, and it's like, wow, like it makes it worth it. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so here's the card I pulled for myself. It's the 4 of Pentacles.
Okay.
Let's see. Stability, savings, success, generosity, accepting your worth, being in flow with the universe, feelings of gratitude, helping others in their times of need. I live an abundant life and I have more than I need.
Wow.
Does
that ring true?
Yeah, I'm definitely in the path of accepting my worth and power, which is definitely
frozen.
the correct ways to find it. So
okay.
Yeah,
I don't know whether we can kind of finish in about 10 minutes rather than in the next 40 minutes. Is that okay with you? We can finish in 10 minutes. I just wanted to ask you, because you wanted to say, because there are going to be other people that are going to be watching, hopefully, this recording, because a few people have actually asked for the recording. But I think you wanted to share what's happened between you and me in the fact of how you have helped me. I think you wanted to do that, Tom. Am I right? Did I get that wrong?
Yeah. So I think the one of the most things that has helped as we've interacted is helping you understand what you're here to do and here to help others. I think you've been really inspired by the readings to respond and assist the people in your group and lift them up. And that's been a core theme, I think, in our interactions and readings together. Am I right?
Yeah, because it's so I actually kind of made history. I actually became the first person to actually have a follow-up reading with Tom. Am I right?
I lost you for a second there.
I said I made history by actually being one of the first people, or the first person, to do a follow-up reading with you.
Yes. Well, not only were you the first one to do a follow-up reading, you were the first one to receive my reading. I conceived the idea to combine tarot with my life
Okay.
stage path reading, but you were the first one I delivered it to. So yes, you were the first one I delivered it to, and the reception was so great that then it moved forward, and I've done lots of them since then. I've done plenty. I think I'm probably we opened this thing in December. Maybe I've delivered this thing maybe 30 times is what I would say. But
Wow.
it's definitely
Wow.
every time I do it, it lands strongly often. And the best times when I deliver them is when somebody is really in one of these crossroads moments. If somebody's really near like their roof or Chiron or Uranus, like if they're near one of those spots and they're really feeling a change coming,
Yeah.
that's when like it's a very beautiful time to receive the reading. I, I've had a couple of individuals too that are past their Chiron, and it really helped with reassurance that that stage of their life is over.
Mm,
Because they lived for so long in that middle period that then
mm,
they're like, should I trust myself? And then you look at the chart and you're like, yeah, like this is the way you operate as long as you follow your strategy and authority and look at your lessons. Like
mm,
you learn
mm.
from 30 to 50 and now you're here. You don't need to hesitate any longer because you've learned all your lessons and now it's time to act again. It's time to bring your energy forth in the way that's correct for you.
And it feels like what you're actually saying about me being like a 5-1 or 1-5 generator. Um, because this is something that, you know, in some ways I've already always known that I'm a leader, but in other ways I've also resisted it because leadership can be pretty lonely. And obviously it's also a tremendous responsibilities. It's not, it's not all the glamour and the power and everything. It is a hell of a responsibility. And when you have delivered those readings to me, it's like I am now really hearing this isn't kind of just that I'm naturally here to do, or I am a natural leader. This is actually what God wants me to do. So the more that I resist it, the more then I'm kind of also creating my own hell. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
if I actually just go along with it, and you know, sometimes it's felt like I'm stepping into really big feet. But I think the more I'm kind of walking on this path, especially the walking on the path of entrepreneurship, which has led me to really understand my spiritual leadership. It's now understanding that it's really about nurturing others to bring out their gifts into the world. And so that for me feels feels very beautiful. It feels very flowing. It feels like I am stepping into something that is very exciting rather than, like pushing, pushing my own lead, like to lead others to lead, right? Feels really good because it's, how can I explain it? It's something that I've always been doing anyway, outside of entrepreneurship. I've been doing that as a social worker, like nurturing and facilitating others to just do what they're naturally good at doing rather than telling them what to do. Does that make any sense?
Yep. Yeah, it definitely does. And it's just really embodies the type that you are.
Mm. And so because this word embodiment, I first came across it in the online space, I really didn't understand it.
I'm going to
There's
stop for a
lots of
second.
things in the
Did I
online
cut out?
space I don't understand.
Did I cut out for a second?
No, no, no. I think maybe I am. I don't know.
Okay. As a 5, like people are beckoning you into leadership. A 1, you never feel like you're enough. And as a 5, people see you as a leader, but you may not be feeling time. But no matter what, they still see you as that. So it's like you always have this beckoning and call, but it's up to you to use the discernment and when it feels correct or not. And
Yeah.
when you're resisting, like you're saying, when it's resisting because it's something that'll keep coming up.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're continually feeling this pull and this call to do something and you're resisting, like then you know that's like, okay, that's what you're being called to respond to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And until you respond to it and act on it, then you, like you were saying, you're creating your own hell, you're creating your own suffering.
Yeah. Yeah. And the more I'm actually seeing that I'm, like, for instance, I'm leading right now into something that a lot of people aren't talking about in the online space, which is having a side business, right? Lots of people aren't honest about it. And lots of, and there's a part of me that's really resisted, like, going along with that. But now I'm realizing this is something I need to lead. I need to lead in the online space, that many have side businesses, side coaching businesses, and the more I'm actually able to write posts about that, the more elated I feel. So I'm in flow. And I'm feeling, the most authentic that I've felt in a long time. So, and the more I don't do that, the more I then become in this hell, which is a hell of my own creating at the end of the day. So a lot of what you were actually saying to Gary, I was just like, oh my God, you just described my personal development addiction. And I was like, oh my God, but that's me as a 5-1 generator. Always wanting to know more, always wanting to know more, but I actually know quite enough. I don't know it all, and I can never be a know-it-all, but I'm always wanting to learn more. And yet I kind of pick up things very quickly and kind of join the dots very quickly. But then, I think it's also quite a humble thing, to kind of want to know more, and not know.
As it's interesting comes up, because I don't like, oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to scale back here, because
You're breaking up, Tom.
like I was looking at it, and I have ones everywhere aside from my main chart.
Mm-hmm. You're breaking up. Oh, I really don't want to end this, but the connection is getting really, really worse now. I don't know whether this is like our natural way to kind of end the discussion today. Tom, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I just want to really, really thank you for your time and your energy. I think this has really kind of like shown the specialism that you have and the expertise that you have in really breaking down. I think that's the best way for me to put it, what human design is, how it can actually help you. And for those of you that are watching this recording, have you noticed neither Tom and I have actually sold you anything? We're not selling you anything. We're actually wanting you to know more about human design, right? Whether you want to buy and book a reading with us, that's entirely up to you. Just reach out to us. I do Sufi Tarot card readings. Tom does human design and tarot card readings. You can do that, but we're not selling that here today. So if you're watching this, can you please, I've left my email, and you really found this useful, please can you reach out to me by email to actually say what you found useful. If you want to know more about human design, please find me in the Transformation of Consciousness group or the Space for High Performing Leaders group. And I will be posting, and hopefully Tom will also be posting, the different websites and apps that actually help you understand human design. Some are better than others.
I should mention also before we leave that although I provide readings, I do run a free educational platform group. If anybody is curious and learning more, please reach out to me privately or to Taniya, and I'll send you an invite to my private human design group that's called Penta, which is really a general information platform to talk and discuss and mingle with other people and their energy types.
I'm learning quite a lot from Penta. Being part of Penta really helped uncover something very very personal to me, which I was struggling with for a long time. But because it's so personal, I'm not going to actually share what that is. But it kind of just cut through the chase, which years of therapy has not managed to do. So it's extremely valuable being part of Penta. I'm actually gonna I'm not selling anything, but I am gonna sell Penta as a group. It's free to join, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna let Tom go now, and thank you for watching the replay. Thank you for Gary for coming, and we will be holding some more of these. I plan to do at least one a month of these Zoom discussions. Okay, thank you very much.
Awesome. Everybody have a good day.
There's the recording. There we are.